I work at a theme park. For those of you who watch my TikToks, you've already had a small introduction into my life as a theme park employee. I've worked at a theme park since I was 16, and in that time, I've gone from employee to supervisor to manager. I work with the art and photo concessions at my theme park, so I paint kids' faces, airbrush the t-shirts, take the photos, draw the caricatures, portraits, and so on. If it's artsy, it's probably me. I love my job. It's why I've been doing it for so long, but it comes with some adventures and some takeaways, as we've obviously seen. One of which that I'll be venting about today are my experiences with theme park wildlife. There's a saying amongst theme park employees that you don't try to pet the wildlife tries to pet you. A lot of this comes from the issue of people feeding the wildlife. Forget the many signs that warn guests not to feed the geese. Forget that.
That goose looked like he want a french fry.
Customers just walk up to the cute-looking chipmunk like,
"Hey, dude, you want a Dorito?" "Yeah, you do."
But in that moment, you've put in that chipmunk's head that people equals snacks. So he goes to tell the squirrel tells the skunk, and we've got the whole theme park forest accustomed to french fries and pizza. I swear we have some of the fattest little creatures that I've ever seen. But seriously, the wildlife has no fear of people. Like one time, after park close, I was at my stand cleaning up and taking the money out of my register, and I see a blur out of the corner of my eye in the dark shadows of the stand. I look over, and I see a striped little beast with glowing, beady little eyes making his way over to me, not caring that my stand is closed.
I yeeted myself over that counter.
The worst is when we get a theme park employee that is scared of animals, and yes, this happens a lot. Like, realistically, we work outside, and we're going to encounter wildlife, and moving up in management, these encounters become your problem. One time, I was the manager on duty, meaning I get the radio and the keys, and if something is on fire, that ends up being my responsibility. We have landlines at every stand, so the radio that I carry around is for urgent park information and emergencies only. If my number is called on the radio, it's a drop everything and run to the phone or that stand kind of situation. Like if someone passes out from the heat,
radio 345.
If a customer is so angry that they're foaming at the mouth and demanding authority or their name is Karen,
radio 345.
If the stand is on fire,
radio 345.
So one day I'm walking around and my number is called on the radio.
Radio 345. 345. Please call the antique photo stand. 10-4.
I get to the nearest phone.
Ring, ring.
No answer, so I start walking over.
Radio 345. 345. The airbrush stand needs you immediately regarding antique photo. 10-4 on my way.
I'm walking faster because running in theme parks is prohibited, but I'm beelining it thinking someone is dead or on fire or worse, Karen is there. The airbrush stand is directly in front of the antique photo stand, so I get there and I see no customers, no fire, no dead bodies, and no employee at Antique Photo. I get to airbrush.
The antique photo employee is in the back hiding. Hiding? Is she okay? She's pretty shaken up. She came running over here to hide after what happened. What happened? Didn't she call you? No, I couldn't get a hold of her. What happened? A chipmunk was in her stand. A chipmunk? Yeah, she said it was. Oh my gosh, thank goodness you are here. I was so scared, let me tell you. I was in the stand minding my own business, unpacking the new frames in the back, and I look over and there it was. The beady-eyed little demon was staring at me. I think he wanted a peanut or something, but I got scared and I screamed and I ran over here. Like a chipmunk? Like the fuzzy little squirrel thing? Yes! I thought somebody was dead. I almost died after I looked at the chipmunk. Well, he's gone now, so let's get back to work. Oh, heck no! That little sucker is still in there. I can feel it. Maya, we work outside. There are chipmunks outside. I am not going back over there. He's real sneaky, though. You go check and let me know if you find him. And then you'll go back to work. Yes, ma'am.
So I go back in and investigate, nudge some boxes here and there, and I hear something behind me, so I turn around and Maya has armed herself with a broom, looking like she's ready to whack me.
Did you find it? No, we're all clear. He's in here somewhere. I can feel it.
Suddenly, a customer walks up to look at prices and starts digging in their bag, and their sunblock falls out and hits the ground. Maya hears the noise and starts screaming and swinging. She is foaming at the mouth, spinning in circles, yeets the broom into the boxes, and runs out of the stand screaming, arms flailing all the way back to airbrush. The customer is screaming and running away. I am left in a pile of destruction. It took forever to get Maya to go back to the stand, and finally once I got her over there, she would only stand outside of the building armed with a broom. Very enticing for customers to want to come up and ask questions. And these are just the little creatures. In our office, we have a serious raccoon problem. So in my theme park, we have an office specifically for the art and photo departments, and that office is shared with the raccoons. Security comes in every so often to set traps and move them away from our office, but somehow they always end up back there, especially in the fall and winter when the park is open fewer hours. Like when I'm up there at the end of the day putting all my paperwork and hours in, I'll hear a shuffle and immediately know,
The raccoons, they've come for me.
I'll peek around the corner and they'll be munching on a sandwich from the trash glaring at me, and usually we make a pretty quick agreement that I'll finish putting in paperwork with my broom in hands and he can finish eating his sandwich as long as he stays in the break room. It's always a showdown when I leave though. That's when you really have to assert your dominance with your manager walk. Sometimes he'll make a noise and challenge you, but you have to make a more intimidating noise back. I usually opt for the pterodactyl screech since the park is usually empty by then. Sometimes I'll hit him with a dance battle and he'll get intimidated and run.
Hey, you. Dance battle.
That's when I leave. Sometimes they try to initiate one of these showdowns at the worst time possible though. Like my corporate office is not in the same state, so we have weekly regional management calls where we update them on how things are going, and I was on a 3-way call with my regional manager and another corporate officer going over some important information when suddenly I hear a pop and some munching. I narrow my eyes, grab my weapon of choice, and take my stance. We begin our stare down, and my manager is like,
Linz, can you please go over your sales numbers with us? Yeah, give me 2 minutes. I have a raccoon in my office and he's making the crazy eyes at me. I need to assert my dominance, so I'm gonna mute myself real fast. Alright.
You guys think I'm exaggerating, but these calls really happen. I love my job. But besides the larger mammals, we usually encounter birds, lizards, and frogs. I can safely say that I've never run into a snake in my time working at a theme park, so that's cool. I'm really grateful that I don't work in Florida because, spoiler, I don't work in Florida, so I'm really happy that I don't have to worry about getting to a stand and there's an alligator on the counter. My deepest condolences to theme park employees that work in tropical environments. Stay safe out there, y'all. But seriously, let's talk about the birds. I cannot tell you how many times I've had to panic because one of my employees, usually a minor, decides to go and pick up a bird. Rule 1 is do not touch the birds. They have diseases.
Hey, don't touch the bird. Don't. I swear, do not touch the bird. No, put the bird down. Don't touch it to your face. No, put the bird down. Oh my gosh.
I constantly, for some reason, have to remind employees not to touch the wildlife. My favorite, though, is when guests try to pet the geese, and I don't know what is going through their minds because geese are basically small velociraptors and they have, no fear. They will come up after you relentlessly, and I love it when a guest tries to pet the goose.
John, I'm gonna go touch the goose. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get it so dirty, Phil. Alright, I'm gonna go touch the goose. Alright.
And the goose ends up chasing the guest, and the guest is, running for their life, and the theme park employee will be like,
Please don't run in the park, ma'am, please don't run in the park. Help me, the goose is trying to kill me.
So, the big animals are scary, but the bugs. Let's talk about the bugs. If there was ever a time that I came close to quitting my job, it was because of the bugs. First, we have a bad bee problem at our park. Not cute little bumblebees, we like them. No, big, aggressive as heck yellow jacket wasps. They claim our stands as theirs and they get really defensive about it too. One time I was at the airbrush stand working a shift alone and it was a slower day and I started setting up my airbrushes to get ready to paint, and we have a little hole we spray paint and water into when we're changing colors, so I start spraying water through the airbrush into that hole to get it all cleaned out and ready to go, and 2 stripey boys come buzzing out aggressively because I just sprayed the heck out of them and apparently they were not here for the water rides. They literally chased me out of the stand, and once I was on the pavement to the side of the stand, they left me alone. So I tried to put my foot back in the stand, and...
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry for spraying you, but, I do need to open and make money.
They seemed to leave, so I put my foot back in again, and I'm like... So I run away, and I get back to the phone, and I call my manager, and I'm like...
So I meet some bees at my stand really angry, and I'm scared of bees, and, they know who I am. I think they put up my wanted poster in the airbrush hole, and they recognize me if I get too close, so I can't do anything. Linz, don't be silly. Bees can't recognize you. Just sweat them and it'll be fine. Okay, I'll try that. Sammy, I can't do it. Please come kill them. You're not going to go back to work until I do, are you? Nope. I'll be over in a second. Thank you.
Sammy, my manager, comes over and walks in the stand, and she's like,
Okay, where are they? I don't see any bees. I'm telling you, they're just after me.
So I put my foot in again, and
we run the heck out of there. Wow, they really do know who you are. I'm telling you, they're after me.
She took care of them for me.
Thanks, Sammy.
We do have other kinds of bees that aren't yellow jackets, and they're usually not as aggressive, but they do hang out by the soda refill stations and the face paint stands. The scary part about these bees aren't the bees themselves, but the guests who don't like the bees. And they see it, and they start swinging. Like, I'll be face painting a kid, and a mom sees a bee, and she's like,
Oh no, a bee!
Grabs the menus and starts swatting, and I'm like,
Man, the bees don't bother us as long as we don't bother them. Marlene, get me the sunscreen. Get me the sunscreen.
That's when the bees get scary. I'm sure you guys are waiting for my stories about the worst type of creepy crawler. Trust me, I've got tons of spider stories, but I'll give you my most memorable for now. I was at the airbrush stand doing my thing, painting a shirt, and a big creepy crawler starts lowering its body in front of my face, and I'm like,
heck into the no.
I run, panicking. I grab a shirt board, what we use to lay the shirts flat while we're painting, and throw it at the spider. I throw more just to be safe. I don't see it, but I refuse to lift the board and look.
What if it's still alive and angry?
Instead of being a rational human, I stop what I'm doing, which is working, and start piling chairs, boxes, boards, and anything I can find to make an inescapable prison for the spider. The airbrush stand is open, and at this point, I notice I have an audience of people watching me do this.
You okay, girl? I gotta trap a spider. Oh, okay, we were worried. We saw you throwing boards. We thought you was being attacked. I was by a spider.
Later, I call Sammy over to help me resolve the spider issue after close, and she looks at the pile and just shakes her head. The next day, one of those ladies watching me assault the spider came back to the stand.
Hey girl, how'd the spider go? Oh, my manager came and she helped me dismantle my contraption. Good, I was worried about you. Our season pass holders are ride or die loyal.
Thank you guys for listening to some of my crazy experiences with theme park wildlife. This will probably get a part 2 if you guys enjoyed it. I have a whole list of theme park wildlife stories. As always, I really appreciate the support. I'm excited to see how fast the views and subscribers are growing on my channel, so thank you guys so much for that. As you guys probably noticed, I tried something a little different with using my real voice for narration in this video and the filter for just character voices. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this, maybe I'll continue doing it in future videos. If you liked this video, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any crazy theme park wildlife stories of your own, definitely share them in a comment below. I'd love to hear anything you guys have experienced as either an employee or a guest. And again, thank you guys so much for watching.